right about inside the 4-yard line. They're giving them maybe about a half-yard gain. Coming on 1 minute left. Curran under center. One back behind him, that's Spur. He puts Ayala in motion. He hands off to Ayala, who cuts up the middle, gets low, touchdown, Calaveras!
And another flag.
And in shotgun, slot receivers. He's looking to throw. Gets some trouble, rolls off to his left. He throws, and it's intercepted! That's number 32, Caden Spur! Touchdown, Calaveras! Calaveras has the ball. They're moving from our left to right. Curran under center, single back behind him. Puts a man in motion. That's Ayala. He gives it to Ayala, who cuts up the middle. He's got room. One man to beat. The 40. The 20. Touchdown, Calaveras. What a play. Ethan Ayala. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk Football with Coach Val. I'm your host, Gil Valtierra, the voice of Calaveras football. I'd like to welcome into the studio my guest, none other than head varsity football coach at Calaveras High, Coach Manny Mossa. Coach, they love you around these parts, man. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Hey, every week we got a different topic. Every episode, different topic. This one came about more from members of the community. If you remember this past football season, every episode, every Friday, a brand new episode centered around that game on Friday. At the end of the episode of the podcast, we'd have a little series we'd call Coach Val's Rant. And I'd get a few things off my chest. And I got a lot of feedback from a lot of people said, oh, man, I loved your rant. That was funny. That was great. That was great. So I thought to myself, hey, why not do an episode where we grab all of the rants from last year and throw them on an episode and let people listen to all the different rants. So that's what we're going to do. Hope you guys enjoy it. Week one was we're preparing to go to Merced to play Stone Ridge in week one. To start off the season. Coach, tell us about that.
Yeah, you're going to give us a little rant timeline, huh? That's going to bring back some memories there from last year.
Definitely. So week one, Stone Ridge Christian at Merced.
And I know we had talked about this prior. We really wanted to go down there and we wanted to hand it to them.
Right.
We really wanted to take it to those guys. They, last year, we talked to the kids, and the kid, we felt disrespected from the year before. They come up to our field, the year before and beat us. We felt like we shouldn't have lost that game. And there was some smack talking going on during the game too. So our guys were pretty fired up, and your rant. Yeah, that kind of fit right in.
Perfect.
If I remember correctly.
So each week, coming up with the topic, what's this rant going to be like? I basically would have to come up with a topic and just kind of go from there. Looking at that first week, the week one topic going into Merced, going into Stone Ridge was pretty much, hey, let's get everybody on the road. Merced's kind of far, but let's show some Calaveras support and let's have a good showing. Let's just get to the football game. Yeah. And so that was kind of the topic around there. So let's have a listen to that week one rant. And Coach, I got to tell you, I'm starting to feel a little. I don't know. I've got this stuff that's just building up inside of me, and I feel like I just need to get it off my chest. Could you indulge me maybe for a couple minutes?
Let it out.
Listen up, Calaveras faithful. I'm talking to the whole student body, teachers, administration, alumni, and members of the community. You've got to get to the football game tonight. You're not going to want to miss a single snap. This team is dynamic, and we're going places this season. Don't be that guy who shows up in week 8 when the team is undefeated talking about you've been watching since the beginning. Liar! Start supporting now, tonight, week 1. You'll thank yourself later. This team is the real deal. No excuses. You gotta work? Call in sick. Don't have a ride? Carpool. Your girl won't let you go? Break up with her. Find you a girl who loves football. Don't have any money? Borrow. It's the American way. You're too old? Take some Geritol. You're too tired? Drink a Red Bull. Just get to the football game tonight. Another message to you players tonight. If you're going to strap on that helmet tonight, boys, you've been working your ass off all summer long. Weight room, sprints. Weight room, sprints. Over and over and over again. And why? Why did you put yourself through this? I'll tell you why. For moments like this. Moments like tonight. Game night. Payday. Time to unleash the beast. Victory is the only currency you will accept for your hard work. Each and every one of you need to accept the challenge to go hard and give everything you have inside of you. Every single play until the game is over. Each and every one of you should go home exhausted and victorious. If you find yourself exhausted and don't think you can go anymore, remember, you're stronger than you think. Dig down deeper. Take a big breath and exhale that weak shit out of your head and go harder the next play. Why? Because you're going to go to work that hard for your teammates, knowing they're going to do the same for you. Where you at, Monzo? Where you at, Clifton? Where you at, Ferrante? Where you at, Spur? Where you at, Paulson? Where you at, Ayala? Where's my big O-line that's ready to go eat with the big dogs tonight? Let's get it done, boys. It's game night, Friday Night Lights, 7 p.m. tonight in Merced. Stone Ridge is going down. Calaveras football Redhawks, be there. Whoa. I know I went a little dizzy there, Coach. How long was I out for?
Blacked out a second there.
I don't know what happened. All right, so there you have it. That week 1 rant against Stone Ridge Christian. I'd like to say that, you know, I hope to help a little bit because you guys went in there on the road and started off the season positive. Got to win.
Oh, it did. It did, you know, and I'll tell you, that was a good first rant right there. That was great. And I'll tell you, I think that some of the players listened to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think they had heard it, right? And then when we get to Stone Ridge, right, you were not allowed in the booth.
No, they threw me in the stands.
They put you in the stands. Well, believe it, I told the kids that too. I remember seeing that. You know, we talked before. You go, "Yep, I'm up here in the stands." I go, "Man, disrespect, boys."
Yeah, it was a little chilly up there too, and windy, and you know, I'm trying to get the equipment not to fall over, and
I'll tell you, you know, and I felt like the kids, dude, they couldn't do anything wrong in that game. They came to play. I mean, they just right from the get go just were hitting them. If I remember right, 27-7. I don't even remember the 7 they scored. I can't. Right. I don't know if the end of the game or right. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, that was a great way to start the season. No
definitely road win. You got to love it. Yep. So week 2 comes. We finally get to come back home. It's the first home game. We got this team from Los Altos. You know, didn't know much about them, but they're coming back to Calaveras at San Andreas to play Calaveras there. Our topic for the rant that week was more of centered around the whole Motherlode League, just a synopsis around the league. Let's have a listen to that one. All right, so this goes out actually to the rest of the Motherlode League. Calaveras, congratulations, starting off your season with the W. Let's make it 2 in a row tonight. Big Valley, congratulations. Win over Denair. Let's make it 2 in a row. Go out to Waterford. Show them what's happening. Go 2 in a row. Good job, Big Valley. Bret Hart. All right, we'll just move on. Linden, 47-44 victory over Ripon. Congratulations to Linden. They are at home against Liberty Ranch. Make it 2 in a row. Great job, Linden. Linden, you've got the rest of the Motherlode League starting to take notice. So excellent job to that team. River Islands. It's only one game, River Islands. Don't worry about it. Get up, dust yourself back off, prepare for game 2. You got to keep getting knocked down and build up a scab, to build up a callus, and get that stuff tougher. And so just keep going. Don't stop, River Islands. You're going to be just fine. Riverbank headed off to Bay Area, San Francisco, and Burton. Riverbank, show San Francisco, the Bay Area, show them what Central Valley football is all about. I know you can get it done. Go Riverbank. Somerville, great victory over 24-21 over Ripon Christian. Tonight, Somerville will go over to Denair. Let's make it 2-0. Let's show that Motherlode League how strong it is, Somerville. I know Leveroos has got those guys going. And then once again, a big congrats to Kirk Clifton over at Sonora, a good friend of ours in our program, taking over the program there and getting a big win against Oakdale. To the Calaveras faithful, it's a 2024 home opener. Let's show up in masses. Let's show this visiting Bay Area team what a Friday night crowd should look like. No excuses. Put the game controller down and go to the game. Your precious phone can go with you. Go to the game. Get up off the couch, put the bag of Cheetos away, and go to the game. Turn off your TV and go to the game. Fortnite, Minecraft, Game of Siege, it's killing your brain. Turn it off. Go to the game. You'll have much more fun, I promise you. And then to the players, that they're going to strap on that helmet tonight. Calaveras Redhawks, first game at home. Defend your house. Guard your home. Protect your field. Safeguard, secure, fortify. Frank Meyer Field is your home. Are you going to let some unknown Bay Area stranger come to your home and take from you? Of course not. Victory belongs to you. Fight for it. Protect it. Do not relinquish it. Calaveras football. Let's go! All right, Coach. So week 2, Los Altos Rant. And again, hopefully little positive vibes went towards the team because they went home and they protected their house and had a big win against Los Altos there in week 2.
Yeah, we didn't know a lot about Los Altos coming in. I mean, they're obviously a larger area. We had no idea what we were facing there. And yeah, man, I mean, guys came to play, and I think they had a rough time. That was a long trip for them.
Yeah,
coming there, they left a little bit late on a Friday. They probably game was over. They were just kind of getting their feet a little bit there. Yeah, that was good week 2 to get it going there. No question.
So at that point, then opening week on the road, a win against Stone Ridge. Then come back home for the opening game of the season at home, get a win against Los Altos. You're 2-0. This next rant is in week 3 when we're on the road going up against Ripon Christian, who we know it was a very good football team. We knew they like to throw the ball, they could run the ball. They run a similar offense to Calaveras, and we knew that the team was going to have to be focused. The topic around Coach Val's rant for that particular week was focus. Let's have a listen. Tradition that I have a little bit of a rant, something I got to get off my chest.
Let's hear it.
Let's hear it. All right, let's get going on this thing. I want to talk to all you players out there that are going to strap on that helmet tonight. I want to talk to you about focus, not just regular focus. I'm talking about laser, precision, spot on, unrelenting focus. I'm talking about the kind of focus that blurs out all other things and makes the task at hand become high density video that's crystal clear. To achieve this kind of focus, you need to take inventory of all your thoughts and feelings. As you're taking inventory, think about the thoughts and feelings that will not help you win that game tonight. Mom and dad are pissed at you? Put it in a bag. You and your girl are fighting? Put it in a bag. The girl you like doesn't know you exist? Put it in a bag. Are you struggling with schoolwork? Put it in a bag. Is a family member or friend fallen ill or sick? Put it in a bag. Once your inventory is done, tie a knot in that bag of stuff that will not help you win tonight, write your name on it, and leave it outside the bus. Don't worry, it'll still be there when the game's over. Nobody is going to take it. They have their own bag to deal with. The ability to compartmentalize things in your life will serve you well later in life. Learn it now. Then I want you to take that field tonight with a clear, laser-focused mind in beating your opponent. If everyone on the team does this, imagine how focused and awesome you will be. You will be unbeatable. Calaveras Red Hawk football. Let's go! Where you at, Clifton? Ferrante, where you at? Spur, where you at? Paulson, where you at? Bowerson, where you at? Double stack Taco Hernandez, where you at? And of course, all you big dogs up front, all the big O linemen, D linemen, where you at? Let's go get Rippin' Christian. Let's come back with a W. Let's keep this thing going. Woo! All right, so week 3 rant, Rippin' Christian. Unfortunately, came up a little short in the game, but it was a good football game. That was centered around focus. Comments around that, Coach?
Yeah, I don't think very many players listened to the rant because we made a boatload of mistakes. We made so many mistakes: offense, defense, man, penalties. Yeah, that was a rough game for us right there. We didn't even give ourselves a chance to win that game. Honestly, we knew they were a tough team, but yeah, penalty after penalty.
And if I remember correctly, I was calling the game for KVGC, and one of the things is just the mistakes and the turnovers always came at the worst possible times where it was so impactful. And it just, and you can't have too many of those happen or else it's just really hard to come back from.
Yep.
So moving on, we move on as always in football. Following week, I believe we came back home to play Argonaut. We're on the road.
Road.
So we're in Jackson at Argonaut, and the topic of the rant coming off the first loss of the season was resilience, being able to bounce back, right? So it's like, I wanted to be centered around being resilient. So let's listen in and get something off my chest. I like to call Coach Val's rant. So bear with me here a minute while I get this off my chest. You okay with that, Ethan?
Yeah, sure.
All right, here we go. This week, I want to talk about resilience. Webster's dictionary defines this as an ability to recover from or adjust easily to misfortune or change. In other words, perseverance, persistence, stubbornness, tenacity, backbone, fortitude, self-determination, grit. People with these characteristics know how to get back up and dust themselves off and move forward. They know how to have a short memory and forget the past and focus on the now. They get rid of the rearview mirror because the job in front of them is more important. People with this kind of focus and resilience are like captains of ships. Someone can throw a rock and hit the side of the ship, and plunk, it falls in the water, while the captain and ship are unfazed. It's Friday night, so it's full power, all engines, full steam ahead. Tonight, boys, you need to talk with your helmet and shoulder pads. Remember the 7-on-7 versus Argo during the summer. How did that go? Remember those feelings. There are people wearing green and gold out there that don't believe you have any self-determination, grit, or resilience. Well, the Calaveras Redhawks are at Dan Barnett Field tonight in Jackson to take on Argonaut High School. Calaveras Redhawk players, this is your stage to showcase your resilience. Calaveras Redhawk football. Let's go! Well, they bounced back. They were resilient because they handled Argonaut.
Yeah, it's funny. I forget about the summer. The little passing thing we did with them. That got chippy, and yeah, I completely forgot about you bringing that up because I'm sure the players, they do remember that. And yeah, I got to tell you, we could do nothing wrong that day.
Yeah, I mean, they ran the ball like you wouldn't believe, and it was a special night for Calaveras faithful because you went in there on the road and just completely dominated the Argonaut Mustangs on their home field.
Yeah, well, we threw the ball, how many? One time? 2 times?
Yeah, not much. I mean, you didn't need to.
The sweet pass, first game of the game. First play of the game there. Yeah, no, but they came to play. Boys came to play that game, man.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to call that game. So the following week, went back on the road, and the topic around the rant for this week against Riverbank was, I believe that's going to be our first league game against Riverbank, and the topic was around discipline. Let's have a listen. My chest, as you know. I'm a stressed out guy. Sometimes I got stuff I just got to let out. So give me a minute.
The floor is yours.
All right, boys. I want to talk to you about discipline. Discipline is doing what you have to do, not what you want to do. This is developed by repetition, doing things over and over and over until they just become habit. The difference between winning football teams and championship football teams is championship football teams have discipline. They perform the same duties with the same tenacity each and every week, regardless of who they play. This discipline creates consistency. This self-control of your own actions gives you power. Each and every game from here on out, the Motherlode League Championship is up for grabs. How bad do you want it? How hard are you willing to work? How far will you go to help your teammates, your brothers? Will you be willing to say no to the easy in pursuit for what's difficult? If football were easy, everyone would do it. But it's not easy. It's hard. You have volunteered to accept the challenge of this difficulty because you are special. Tonight, when you take that field, remember how special you are. You represent yourselves, your team, your school, your community, and your family. When you do represent tonight with discipline. Calaveras Redhawk football. Let's go! All right, discipline. opened up. It worked. We opened up on the road for Motherlode League play with a big win over Riverbank. Comments around that game, Coach?
Yeah. We were kind of rolling, from the Argonaut game to the Riverbank game. We went down there. The guys were just playing, man. They were rolling pretty good, and I don't know. Things seemed to be really heading in the right direction at that point. They really did. And then, especially a few more games after that. Like things were going good.
Well, yeah, that most definitely. So, the following week, back at Calaveras High School, River Islands, brand new school, coming to San Andreas. And the only thing I have running around here is under topic is random thoughts. And I got to tell you, this is about, what are we in? We're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're 5, 6 weeks in, about midway through. And it started becoming kind of a task to go, what's going to be my topic for the rant this week, right? Because now it's like everybody's expecting something on the rant, and all of a sudden you start coming up blank. It's like, well, you can't do that. You got to come up with something. And I think this week was just one of those ones where, like, I better figure out something. So
yeah, and there was a lot going on, that week. Homecoming.
Man,
homecoming. Like, honestly, with homecoming going on, there's just not a lot. The players should be fired up anyway. You know what I mean?
There you go. Well, here's Coach Val's rant during that week against River Islands. For random thoughts here. Nothing to do with football, Coach, but they always tell me it's good to get it off your chest, right? I was like, so this is like therapy for me. So deal with me here for a second, all right?
Yep, no problem.
Some random thoughts. People who leave long messages on voicemail. Give me a break. The voicemail literally gives you instructions. Leave your name and number, and then I'll call you back. But no, you have to leave your whole life story on my voicemail. Your manifesto on life has to be on my voicemail. Knock it off. Leave a message. Starbucks, make a line for people that just want coffee. You are a coffee joint, right? Step aside, you people that are like, I'll take a Trente iced coffee with 6 pumps of vanilla, 16 pumps of white mocha, add an affogato shot, a separate cup of ice filled 3/4 of the way. Get out of the way! People are trying to get coffee, for Christ's sake. Starbucks, get a line for people that just want coffee. Writing a check in the express lane at the grocery store. Are you kidding me? It's an express lane. Express. Not Pony Express, like in the olden days with the mail. I got 2 words for you people. Debit card. Get you one. CVS. I don't need a 24-foot receipt when I only bought 1 bottle of aspirin. Let me get this straight. You'll charge me 10 cents for a bag as a deterrent so that I don't use the bag in an effort to save the planet. Then turn around and kill enough trees to furnish a mansion on my receipt, just so I know that I've got a 30-cent coupon on that same bottle of aspirin the next time I come in. By the way, my CVS receipt is still printing. Give me a break, people. You know how I get through all these stressors of daily life? Friday Night Lights. Calaveras Red Hawk football. That's what gets me through it. What do you got going on in your life? You got pet peeves like Coach Val does? Get down to Frank Meyer Field in San Andreas for Calaveras Red Hawk football. It's homecoming. Calaveras Red Hawk football. Let's go!
That felt good. my wife might be the one that's in front of you at Starbucks
with that long mile
with the crazy drink.
I need this. I need to make sure it's 142 degrees.
Sorry, babe.
All right. So random thoughts from Coach Val back in midseason there. I still feel the way I do about the Starbucks.
I got the look on Friday there when she heard it.
Oops. So hey, it was midseason, big win against River Islands.
Yep. You know what though? It was a whole lot of fun, right? The rant was fun.
Yes.
Right. The game was fun. I think Ferrante scored 5 touchdowns that game.
Something crazy.
I mean, it was a punt return, an interception return, a couple rushes. The guys were just ready to go. I mean, that was a fun one.
Well, and then after all the fun, it got serious real quick, Coach, because after that win, we had Somerville come in to play at San Andreas.
Yeah.
Somerville was undefeated. Calaveras only had 1 loss. Everybody knew it was Linden, Somerville, and Calaveras as the top 3. This was the first time everyone's going to see who's going to be the top dog of these 3 teams.
Yeah.
So Somerville coming in to play Calaveras, by far the biggest game of the year. The topic around the rant that week was what I called rising to the occasion. When big games come, big players love to play in big games. When the spotlight is really bright, that's when they do their best. They're ready to go. And so let's have a listen to the rant around that Somerville week. Before, I'm kind of a high-strung guy. I got to get a few things off my chest. But today, I actually want to send a message out to the players, if you don't mind, and indulge me for a minute. This goes out to anybody tonight that is going to strap on that helmet, put on that chin strap, put it on extra tight. This one goes out to you. I want to talk to you boys about rising to the occasion. Stepping up to the plate. Coming out swinging. There are certain people in the world that are special. They get better when things get tough. They thrive in an environment when the pressure is on. They excel when in the spotlight. They relish at the opportunity to perform in a big game. Some folks, when knocked down, crawl into a corner like an untrained puppy and start to shiver and piss themselves. Not you. You're special. You get up fighting like a rabid dog and will be ready to fight till the end. When you get punched in the mouth, the person that threw the punch becomes instantly afraid because they realize that all they did was awaken a sleeping giant. When things get bad for common people, they look for help from others. Who do we call? When things get bad for you, you are that guy they call. You are the solution. You are the answer. You're the man that's going to get it done. Who do you call? You call in the beast inside of you and start to make it happen. Where you at, Paulson? Where you at, Spur? Where you at, Ferrante? Where you at, Bonzo? Calaveras Red Hawk football. Friday night. Biggest game of the year. Frank Meyer Field, San Andreas. Be there. Calaveras football. Let's go. All right, so hey, big game, and it did not disappoint for those at all that showed up at Frank Meyer Field there at Calaveras High. A big, huge win for the Calaveras Redhawks as they beat Somerville 35-34, which those that were there at the game kind of knew. I mean, it wasn't that close. Calaveras was up a couple scores and really should have won by a bigger margin, but some mistakes, some turnovers, special teams, and the onside kicks by Somerville. And hey, credit to Coach Levers and their guys for doing it and keeping it that close. But without those plays, Calaveras easily wins by 2, maybe 3 scores.
Yeah, the moment was not too big for the Calaveras players.
Yeah, it was a big game.
They were ready to rock, man. I was pleasantly surprised. A game like that, you don't know. You don't know.
Right. Who's going to show up?
Yeah. And the boys showed up. That was. I think it. Give me a couple more gray hairs. No question.
So definitely exciting game. The rising to the occasion was the topic on the rant that week, and definitely those players certainly did and brought home the W. Moving on to the next week, I believe was a bye week, maybe. I think, and so we did kind of more like of a mid-year review podcast, and then the topic around the rant there was more about never really thought about that kind of stuff here. Let's have a listen. You guys are going to have to do it. I know you're new to this, so if you see me hyperventilate a little bit, I'm going to be okay. Sometimes I black out a little bit. I'll be okay. I'll get through it. But, it's not too bad this week because there's really no game. So I don't think so bad. So indulge me for a moment. All right, folks. Since there's no game, it's hard to get fired up for a game. So this week, this rant's going to be more of a put your forefinger and thumb on your chin and think, I really never thought about that. For example, things I rarely see. Bougie homeless people. I went to San Francisco to see a Giants game, and I saw a homeless person wearing Jordans. Okay, they were all scuffed up, but still, Jordans. Now that's bougie. Vegan cattle ranchers. I suppose one may possibly exist out there somewhere, but I ain't never seen one. How about you? Saudi Arabian Tesla drivers. The largest oil producers in the world wouldn't want electric cars hanging around, right? Plus, can you imagine getting in and out of that car with those thobe outfits that they always got on? I mean, that's got to be bad. Things I see, and I wish I had it. Normal dogs with their service humans. I work in a public place with people coming in and out all the time. And trust me, there are some weird folks out there. Are you one of them? Monster F-350 full-on lift kit trucks that would make an American Ninja Warrior athlete sweat just to get to climb into it. With handicap plates. I mean, are you kidding me? If you could climb in that sucker, then you could park in a normal spot like the rest of us. Yoga pants. Yoga pants being worn by people who have never done yoga in their lives. Please stop. This has been a public service announcement. All right, I got that off my chest.
You feel better?
I feel better now. Greg?
Wow.
Do you own a pair of yoga pants?
I mean, he's wearing them right now. I think he looks pretty good. That's why he looks so upset. You're dissing his yoga pants right now. Great. I think you look great. I think you look outstanding. Gil's just jealous.
No comment at all.
I'm not saying anything.
All right, so yeah, we had that bye week and not a whole lot of football to talk about, so we resorted to yoga pants, Coach.
Yeah, I took that week off.
we had Greg Stark, my cohort on the Friday night radio broadcast, who does the color commentary, and then we had Mr. Guy Dossie himself from the Calaveras Enterprise, and we had kind of did a mid-season synopsis on the entire Motherlode League, and then so Coach Val's rant that particular week was more along silly things like yoga pants. So following week, we got back to football. And getting back to the ball game, Big Valley Christian was the next opponent. The topic, get to the football game. Let's have a listen. Bye week, so still, nothing crazy, Coach, but some things that I had to think about, And really what this is if any of these things are happening to anyone out there, you find yourself in this situation, I say you drop everything you're doing and just go to the game. All right?
I like it.
Things that prompt me to say, let's just go to the game. All right? The only thing left to eat in the house is gas station sushi. Yeah, go to the game. Your dentist called and wants to schedule that root canal for Friday. Go to the game. Your wife says, we need to talk.
Go to the game. I'll answer that one for you.
You find yourself emptying the junk drawer and testing all the old batteries with your tongue. Yeah, go to the game. You're playing with matches at the gas station.
Yeah.
Go to the game. Your boss calls and wants you to work overtime, even though you're on salary. Go to the game. Your in-laws are coming over. Go to the game. Your cable is down, and the only station working is playing a Hallmark movie marathon. Go to the game. Folks, just go to the game. That's all I got.
Simple answer.
Get there.
For everything. All your problems.
Well, it works for us.
Yeah.
Go to the game.
I mean, I think it does.
So that game, that particular week, we had Big Valley who came in to San Andreas, and I had dubbed them the best of the rest. They're a darn good football team. Coach Adam Lima, a lot of respect for him, what he's trying to get done over there with that group. And, from where they started and to where they are now, I mean, you can't help but like that group. And but they came into Calaveras, and like we said, hey, we're always rooting for the Motherlode League until you play us, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they played us tough. I mean, nothing was easy that game. No excuses. We didn't play our best game, but there's a reason for that. They were playing up to the task, up to the challenge. So like you said, kudos to them, man. That was a tough game. Yeah, you bet. Calaveras did come away with the W. And then moving into the following week, another big game. They were on the road down the highway on Highway 26 to go take on Linden High School. The topic around the rant was championship effort, putting in the kind of championship effort, because clearly after beating Somerville and then having the opportunity to go play Linden, which was everyone knew was the next big obstacle for the Motherlode League championship, you were going to have to put in a championship effort to come away with the W. So let's listen in on the rant for that week. Things off my mind. And unlike the last couple of weeks where it's been pretty mild and, silly and lighthearted, this is championship football we're talking about. And so I got a little bit of Coach Val's rant.
I got to get off my chest. So would you indulge me here a minute here, Coach?
Floor's yours.
Don't allow anyone to work harder than you. Go 100% full speed, full effort every play for the entire game. There should not be any gas left in the tank when the game is over. Leave it all out on the field. This kind of effort is what's required to win championships. You ready? Damn right! Fly to the football. When the ball is in the air tonight, it doesn't belong to the offense or defense. It belongs to whoever gets there first. Damn right! You ready? Damn right! Get to the ball carrier, and when you get there, be in a bad mood. Be sure that everyone who comes to your area of the field pays a toll. You ready? Damn right! Play hard for your community. Play hard for your school. Play hard for your teammates. Play hard for your family. Play hard for you. You ready? Damn right! Things that happen in championship games you will remember for the rest of your lives. Go out there tonight and make sure they will be good memories. You ready? Damn right! Calaveras faithful, where you at? I'll tell you where you need to be. Linden High School, 7 p.m. kickoff. The Linden Lions, the Calaveras Redhawks, and the Motherlode League Championship on the line. Let's travel well. Let's get out there and support your team. Monzo, where you at? Ayala, where you at? Ortega, where you at? Hernandez, where you at? Ellis, where you at? Ferrante, where you at? Curran, where you at? Clifton, where you at? Spur, where you at? The big dogs on that front line ready to eat. Where you at? Calaveras Red Hawk football. Let's go! All right, so you have it there. Big week against Linden. Obviously didn't go the way we wanted to, Coach. Linden was prolific on offense. They had some great, fantastic football players. And, even still looking at them now in the offseason, getting ready for next year, they're still going to be a team to contend with.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, they just punched us in the mouth and we couldn't recover. They had a great plan, both offense and defensively, and we couldn't get out of our own way that game, man. That was a rough one. We were a better football team than what we showed that day. I'd like to think we were.
Yeah, they're definitely the team. I'm sure learned from that, and a lot of these guys, these younger guys that are coming back, probably remember how that felt after that game, and they don't ever want to feel that way again. So hopefully, like Coach Anderson said, 2 words: weight room.
Yeah, and I hope they do, because they kind of beat us playing our game. They pounded the ball. They ran the ball against us at will. That shouldn't happen. Right.
Coach Metchkoff, their head varsity football coach, follows the podcast and listens and on Instagram, and he's got a page there for this. He's always posting Linden guys in there in the weight room on the squat rack.
Yep.
And I saw a couple shots of some of these guys getting in there, and then Coach Metchkoff himself got in the rack and put up 485. So I'm thinking to myself, Coach Mossa?
I'm not sure these old knees can handle 485 anymore, man.
I'll tell you what, if I get underneath a squat rack with I don't care what kind of weight on there, you better get emergency personnel ready to go. All right, so moving on. After that game, it was back at home for the Victory Bell game against Bret Hart. It had been a while for lots of different reasons. Bret Hart not having a team, COVID, you fill in the blank for all the different reasons why this game hasn't happened in a while. But finally it did happen. And so obviously Coach Val's rant was centered around the victory bell and Bret Hart. Probably didn't have a whole lot of beautiful, nice things to say about Bret Hart. So if you're a Bret Hart fan, be sure to turn it up and listen real closely. Here we go. Calaveras on the football field. And what are they thinking the week of Calaveras when you have that kind of history? What's in their mind? What's their inner psyche? Like, what are they thinking of? Like random thoughts, or maybe they wake up in the middle of the night with night terrors going, right? And then what's going on? What goes through their mind? And these are some of the things I thought of. There's an entire generation of Bret Hart football players who are thinking to themselves, what's that victory bell look like? You can't miss what you never had. Who's your daddy? Someday, maybe we could be just like Calaveras and wake up in the morning and piss excellence. You know, there might be something to that phrase. If you can't beat them, join them. The last time Bret Hart beat Calaveras in football, Y2K was something to fear. Britney Spears was on top of the charts, and there was no such thing as a smartphone. Bow to your sensei. The last time Bret Hart beat Calaveras in football, I was watching the game show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire on primetime TV. You remember Call a Friend? I was storing my VHS tapes and trying out this new technology called DVD. They hate us because they ain't us. You know, Stockholm Syndrome dictates that you begin to have positive feelings and even emotional bonds with your abuser. Calaveras, Red Hawk, football. Bret Hart's worst nightmare. Get down there tonight, 7 p.m., Frank Meyer Field. Friday Night Lights. Calaveras, Red Hawk, football. Tonight, who's going to be the bug? Who's going to be the windshield? Who's the hammer? Who's the nail? We're going to find out. Let's go! I'll tell you what, seeing that victory bell just primered when my entire career at Calaveras has been nothing but red, just that alone kind of freaked me out a little bit.
You know, I wish they would have, they got it on a technicality, right? I wish they would have just painted it purple.
Mm-hmm.
Because what they did is they sanded it down and took away years and years of just paint, old paint, and I don't know. That's the cool part, right? It's rough. It's just thick with just layers and layers of paint,
Right.
I don't know. Now it's all sanded and I don't know. We gotta get that thing painted.
Well, the first step was to get it back to its rightful home.
Yeah.
And that certainly happened in a big game back at Frank Meyer Field where Calaveras handed it to Bret Hart. I think it was like 55-0 or something like that. So big game for the Calaveras faithful and getting that victory bell painted back red. I know they started doing it right after the game. They were painting it red, and it was a rainy night, so it was starting to run. It was like, oh, this was a bad plan, but I love the enthusiasm.
It was a great idea, but it started to rain, and it wasn't coming out very well.
So moving on, that ended the regular season. The following week was round 1 of the CIF Sac-Joaquin section football playoffs. The brackets had come out. Calaveras was seeded number 11 and was due to head out to the road to go play Wheatland in Wheatland, California. Everyone knows me. I was not happy with that bracket and where Calaveras was seated, even though later it turned out that the CIF was kind of right in what they did. I just don't like the road they took in order to get there. But nonetheless, my rant was on that CIF in that first round of the playoffs and how they came up with the bracket. Let's have a listen. Hold back here. Coach, my feeling on how the CIF did, specifically with this Division 6 bracket, I'll start with this. Yeah, not pleased. For you guys over there in the CIF office, I thought you did a disservice. And for those of you out there listening, these are all Coach Val's opinion, no one else's. So you got something to say, come see me. I'll be happy to talk with you about it. But here's how I feel in Coach Val's rant about how the CIF did with this Division 6 bracket this year. Two losing records at 4 and 6 are seated higher than Calaveras, who was 8-2. Calaveras was seated at number 11. Two other teams seated 8 and 10 had lesser records. Dumb. Number 5, Orostimba, was 6 and 4. Calaveras 8 and 2. They're number 11. Orostimba gets a home playoff game. Calaveras has a 2-hour drive on the road. Dumb. Of the 10 teams seated higher than Calaveras, 7 of them had either the same record or worse record than Calaveras. 4 of them had worse records than 8-2. 3 of them had the same record, 8-2. The 4 worst records, 2 teams were 4 and 6, 1 was 6 and 4, and 1 was 7 and 3. Dumb. The CIF sent a message with this Division 6 bracket that actually wins on the football field doesn't matter. Their subjective beliefs on what schools or what leagues are better based on analytics on paper now hold more weight than the actual performance on the field. Dumb. Actual wins on the field have been watered down by the CIF actuarial nerds who unilaterally have dictated what wins are better than others. Dumb. 4 and 6, a losing record, gets you a home game, while 3 8-2 teams are on the road. Dumb. Listen, as an old football coach, the kids on the field and their performance in that game is what should dictate what happens. Not some statistician who's never touched a football in his life dictating what should happen to these teams. CIF, get it right. You laid an egg on this one. All right, so you heard me say my piece about the bracket sheet. It didn't make a whole lot of sense. Ultimately, at the end of the Division 6 bracket, the top 4 teams were in the Final Four. Yeah. So they eventually, they got it right as far as who was going to end up there. I just didn't like the path they took in the beginning, especially round 1 of how to get there. But hey, I'm just one guy with an opinion. Calaveras went in there and showed them what was up. Though at 8-2, they went in and beat, I believe, a 9-1 Wheatland team on their home field and beat them. What was the score, Coach?
24-14.
24-14. So a good win on the road in round one of the playoffs. Any comments around that?
No, I mean, I it'd have been nice to play a home game. That would have been nice. But ultimately, I felt we were going to be somewhere around there. I think our loss to Linden is really what knocked us down. I think we were good up until that loss. They put a lot of points on us, and we didn't put a lot on the board. And I think that's why we were so low.
Right. So moving on, Calaveras wins in round one of the playoffs, and the second round they're faced up against old rival Sonora High School up in Sonora. The rant around this week in the second week of the playoffs was around embracing struggle and value. Right? There's no value in free and what value really is, and embracing challenges and those types of things. Obviously, Calaveras had a lot of success going up against Sonora, and so now round two against this team, they were clearly the underdog. Calaveras was, and so I was hoping with this particular rant to fire them up as far as to embrace that struggle, embrace being the underdog, and still take them on. Let's have a listen to what that rant was that week. Anything else before I get going on Coach Val's rant?
The floor is yours.
The floor is mine. Let's get it going. Free or easy has no value. Give you an example. Fast food versus home cooking. Fast food can be tasty, but it's never good as home cooking, right? You got to put in the time. Get you some home cooking. Found money versus earned money. You'll easily blow money that wasn't earned, but you think hard about a purchase with money you worked hard to get. Embrace the struggle. If it's not hard to do, then you shouldn't want it. Difficult things that make you struggle always have a better payday when you get through it. Things that are free have little value and are usually of poor quality. If you're trying to accomplish something and you're running into obstacles, things are not just falling into your lap. You're on the right track. Keep going. Don't stop. Don't give up. If it were easy, anyone could do it. But it's not easy. That's why only a select few enjoy the reward. It doesn't matter what happened in the past. It doesn't matter how many wins this team has. The only thing that matters is what happens tonight. The present. Right now. Live in the moment. Calaveras Red Hawk football. Round 2. CIF Sac-Waukegan section title playoffs. Let's go! All right, so then that led us into Sonora High School on another kind of cold, rainy type day. It was definitely wet. It had been raining all day long, and then I think around game time, the rain had kind of subsided, but it was a very wet and sloppy field, and then clearly did not go the way the Calaveras faithful would have liked it to have gone.
No, it did not. Look, obviously state champ. A great football team.
Right.
I really feel like we laid an egg that day. We did not even come close to playing up to our ability. Honestly, 64-7, it's embarrassing. Mm-hmm. Embarrassing. I understand they're a good team, but we, it was not a good way to end the season. Beating that team, I think, would have been a very, very tall task. Like it would have been a it was feasible, but everything would have had to have gone right.
Sure.
And we would have needed some help, needed some breaks, right? But, I really feel like, there were some of our players that did not play up to the task. And that's something, I got to figure out how to change that.
Yeah.
Big games need big time players to play.
Right.
If you want a chance to win. And so, that's still a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
I've lost many football games, plenty. Right. But when you lose a game that, everyone plays tough and play hard, they play their hearts out, and I'm okay with that. When you get beat by the better team, I'm okay with that, but
right.
we should have played a lot better than what we did that game, especially second round of playoffs. I don't know. I felt like we kind of just handed it to them a little bit, by no means do I think they didn't deserve it. Obviously they proved, their only tough game they had in the playoffs was
Bradshaw.
Our section.
Right.
Right. It kind of ran through everybody else. We knew they were a damn good football team.
Yeah.
But we should have played better than what we did.
Yeah, I agree. So that ended the season, with that loss, and then I believe it was overall 9-3 overall.
Yeah.
Sonora went on to win the section, and then also win the state title, and I believe they finished off I want to say it was 13-2 or something like that, or something like that. Something like that. So you look at that and you go 9-3, 13-2. There's not a big, huge, gap between a team that's a second round playoff team and a state championship football team. The difference starts to become pretty narrow and pretty close as far as, getting things done and that kind of stuff. And it almost, to me, anyways, my opinion, it comes down to those little things. All those, when you treat the little things like it's still the most important thing to me, and I'm going to get these things right.
Yeah. You got to win every snap. You got to try or attempt to win every snap, and yeah. And look, they were firing on all cylinders.
They're a damn good football team.
Yeah, they were. We've seen a lot of Sonora teams. I've lost to a lot of Sonora teams. Been a part of a loss to a lot of Sonora teams. That was by far the best Sonora team I've seen.
Yeah.
Their quarterback ran that offense to a T. And that's something when you play them, you hope that the quarterback screws up. You hope that he makes the mistakes. Nope, he didn't make any.
Right. And they're only going to get better. They were a pretty young football team, so watch out.
Yeah.
Okay, and then so moving on, final week, we had Coach Clark, Coach Anderson, Coach Mossa, yourself. All you guys came in for kind of the final episode of the season, kind of give the whole synopsis of the whole season. And then I'm thinking, well, what the heck are you going to do a rant on after the season's over or the whole season? And so on this particular week, why even just set it up? I'll just let you listen. There's a topic involved, and I'm going to give you the topic here. There's no game. Usually it's all pertinent to what's happening in the season with the team and all that good stuff. I don't have to tell you guys. I'm sure you're probably, loyal listeners. This one is just more about me and what's happened to me recently this past week that made me decide I got to go to the gym. So I went to the gym today. I didn't do anything. I just went there. Took a look around. I was like, that's pretty cool. Wow, there's a lot of people doing stuff around here. But I went there. But here's what was the events, the happenings that were happening to me that said, Coach Val, you better go to the gym. All right, here we go. I started to need a three-way mirror to put my belt on. Tying my shoes in the morning was the worst part of my day. Every buffet restaurant in a 100-mile radius started sending me cease and desist orders.
Oh, Jesus.
Jelly Roll called me to see if I wanted to collaborate with him on his new project, 2 Tons of Fun.
Yikes.
every giant burger out there still just looks like sliders to me. I was pulled over by the CHP for not stopping and driving right through a way station. And finally, Weight Watchers called me and asked if I was willing to be a permanent before picture.
Jesus. A little bit of self-deprecation on the way out.
All right, folks, that's the final. All right, Coach, so that was it. Still drive by the gym every once in a while and go, should I stop? But, hey, great season. Great first season of Rants for Let's Talk Football with Coach Val. I appreciate all your collaboration and contribution to the show. And looking forward to the up-and-coming season with a new group of guys, some of the same guys, some of the younger guys coming up. Any last comments before we get going here?
Yeah, I'm curious what you have in store for us on those rants next year. You know, got to step it up.
I guess so. Well, hey, I want to thank all of you out there for listening. Thanks to Coach Manny Mossa for taking the time to come out to the studio and spend some time with us. If you're enjoying the podcast, please follow us on Instagram or Facebook at Let's Talk Football with Coach Val. And be sure to share the page with all of your followers and your friends. Remember that we will have 2 new episodes drop every month from now until August. And then when the high school football season begins again, then we will start going over every week during the football season. Until next time, we are out. Right about inside the 4-yard line. They're giving them maybe about a half-yard gain. Coming on 1 minute left. Curran under center. One back behind him, that's Spur. He puts Ayala in motion. He hands off to Ayala, who cuts up the middle, gets low, touchdown, Calaveras!
And another flag.
And in shotgun, slot receivers. He's looking to throw. Gets some trouble, rolls off to his left. He throws, and it's intercepted! That's number 32, Caden Spur! Touchdown, Calaveras! Calaveras has the ball. They're moving from our left to right. Curran under center, single back behind him. Puts a man in motion. That's Ayala. He gives it to Ayala, who cuts up the middle. He's got room. One man to beat. The 40. The 20. Touchdown, Calaveras. What a play. Ethan Ayala.